Imagine this, a glittering stage in Rio de Janeiro, the world's most powerful leaders rubbing shoulders with Hollywood A-listers, supermodels, and royalty, all united by one urgent mission. Not to celebrate wealth or fame, but to save the planet. And at the center of it all? A British prince with a bold vision, a new prime minister with everything to prove, and a prize that could change the future of humanity. But here's the twist, just weeks ago, no one was sure if the UK's leader would even show up. So what changed? And why does this one night in November matter more than you think? You've probably heard of the Earthshot Prize, Prince William's brainchild, a global hunt for the most brilliant, scalable solutions to repair our broken planet. Think of it as the Oscars for climate innovation, where the winners don't just take home a trophy, they get £1 million and a shot at rewriting our future. And this year, the stakes couldn't be higher. On November 5th, Rio will host the most star-studded climate event of the decade, with judges like Kate Blanchett, Sir David Attenborough, and Brazilian icon Gisele Bündchen deciding who takes the crown. But the real headline? The UK's freshly minted Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, is flying in, and his presence speaks volumes. Now, why should you care? Because this isn't just another red carpet spectacle. It's a high-stakes gamble. Starmer's team is calling net zero the economic opportunity of the 21st century, a chance to create millions of jobs and position Britain as the green superpower of tomorrow. But let's rewind just a few weeks, because this story almost had a very different ending. Rumours swirled that Starmer might skip the entire event, echoing the exact criticism he once hurled at his predecessor, Rishi Sunak, for doing the same. The Liberal Democrats were already sharpening their knives, ready to brand him a hypocrite. So what made him change his mind? And more importantly, is this trip about saving the planet, or saving face? Let's start with the man who started it all, Prince William. 5 years ago, he launched the Earthshot Prize with a simple but radical idea. Instead of doom-scrolling through climate disasters, let's spotlight the people fixing them. From coral reef restoration to clean energy breakthroughs, the prize has become a beacon of hope in a world drowning in bad news. And William isn't just handing out awards, he's throwing down a challenge. Together, we can tackle the planet's greatest challenges, he said recently, and for once, it doesn't sound like empty royal rhetoric. Because here's the thing, the Earthshot Prize isn't just about feel-good moments. It's about proving that solutions exist, if we're brave enough to back them now. Enter Keir Starmer. The man who campaigned on a promise to restore Britain's climate leadership is walking a tightrope. His government is barely 100 days old, and already, the world is watching. Will he be the leader who drags the UK into a green revolution, or the one who talks big but delivers little? His team insists this trip is more than political theatre. They are framing net zero as the ultimate jobs creator, a way to future-proof the economy while saving the planet. But let's be real, after years of climate backsliding under the last government, the bar is low. And the skepticism is high. Here's where it gets interesting. After the Earthshot glitz, Starmer isn't heading home. He's going north, to Belém, deep in the Amazon, for COP30, the next global climate summit. Why does that matter? Because the Amazon isn't just a forest. It's the lungs of the planet, and it's on the brink. By showing up, Starmer is sending a message: the UK is back in the game. But is it too little, too late? Remember, this is the same country that, under the last Prime Minister, approved new oil drilling and watered-down climate pledges. The world hasn't forgotten, and then there's the elephant in the room, the hypocrisy trap. Just 2 years ago, Starmer slammed Rishi Sunak for skipping COP27, calling it a dereliction of duty. Fast forward to 2024, and guess who was rumoured to do the exact same thing? The Liberal Democrats were ready to pounce, and you can bet the Conservative press would have had a field day. So was this trip always part of the plan, or a last-minute scramble to avoid a PR disaster? We may never know. But one thing's clear, in the game of climate politics, perception is everything now. Let's talk about the bigger picture. The Earthshot Prize isn't just a one-night event. It's a movement. And this year's ceremony in Rio isn't an accident. Brazil is home to the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest, a place under siege from deforestation, fires, and greed. By hosting the prize there, Prince William is shining a spotlight on the front lines of the climate crisis. And by attending, Starmer is tying the UK's fate to the Amazon's survival. It's a bold move. But is it enough? Here's what no one's saying outright: the UK is desperate to reclaim its role as a climate leader. Brexit left a void. Years of broken promises and half-measures left the world questioning Britain's commitment. Starmer knows that. And he also knows that in a world where climate disasters are becoming the norm, the country that cracks the code on green growth will write the rules of the next century. So yes, this trip is about diplomacy. It's about jobs. It's about rebuilding trust. But more than anything, it's about survival, not just for the planet, but for the UK's place in IT.so. Where does that leave us? With a prince who's betting big on hope, a prime minister racing to prove himself, and a prize that could light the way forward. But here's the question no one's asking: what happens after the cameras stop rolling? The Earthshot winners will get their moment in the sun, the politicians will give their speeches, and then, what? Will the funding follow? Will the policies change? Or will this just be another glittering distraction in a world that's running out of time? Because here's the hard truth: we don't need more prizes. We don't need more speeches. We need action. Real, messy, complicated action. The kind that costs money, ruffles feathers, and forces us to ask who we're willing to leave behind in the name of progress. Prince William gets that. He's not just handing out awards, he's building a network of problem solvers, a global brain trust for the climate crisis. But networks don't cut emissions. Policies do. Money does. Political will does, and that brings us back to Keir Starmer. His trip to Rio and the Amazon is a statement. But statements don't cool the planet. So here's what I want to know: when he gets back to London, what's next? Will he push through the green investments he's promised? Will he stand up to the fossil fuel lobby? Or will the Earthshot Prize just be a shiny photo op in a long line of broken promises? Because at the end of the day, this isn't about one night in Rio. It's not about a prime minister's PR strategy or a prince's legacy. It's about you. It's about the air you breathe, the food you eat, the world you'll leave to the next generation. The Earthshot Prize proves that solutions exist. But solutions without action are just fairy tales. So here's my question for you: do you believe this time will be different? Or are we just watching the same story play out, with a new cast of characters? Because the clock isn't just ticking, it's screaming. And the only thing that'll silence it is all of us demanding more than just a show.